there. All right, we're live. Just going to express something that's been coming through. That's nice. Thank you. So, half God versus whole God. So, if we look at the idea of kind of the God that a lot of people believe in, we're going to separate and just postulate this idea. So this isn't trying to destroy certain belief systems. It's actually meant to just make a distinction of possible different evaluations, ideas. So the idea of the whole God versus the half God. And how we'll define this is that the whole God idea is one where an individual can experience the world and know innately their goodness or their connection with the world, their full spirituality. See, a lot of new stuff is coming through with this idea. So the whole God means that a person individually will navigate life or can navigate life and open up all perspectives, as many perspectives as possible, with then that person choosing or making choices along the way because they're connected to some kind of innate um, guidance system. And the half God is the one where there is compulsory. What that means is that you are compulsed or you're compelled to um, believe certain things, to believe certain, like God is this way, and and so the way that this would be defined, this idea of half God and full God, is we say half God because we're just going to start with this point that that in a, let's just say, in a religious or a spiritual movement, um, they have half of them, half of that movement or idea or belief system is about getting a connection with yourself, um, meditating, praying, contemplating, all of these things, and then the other half is compelled. So there are rules that have been passed down by other people's ideas and meanings, and so they are compelled to act in a certain way if they take on this belief system. Whereas in the whole God idea, you are guided to your own innate sense of being. And so the whole idea is that there are a lot of people, including a lot of young people, that are rejecting a lot about the belief systems, even spiritually and religiously. Um, and it could be easily put the ideas on that it's the compelling, that they need to believe that they're a sinner when they were born, and that they have to follow certain rules, they have to politically vote in a certain way, and you got the tighter religions that, like, you have to follow particular paths. But people get lost in all of these things because the big movement in the world right now is you got to figure out what to believe in, because there's a whole different perspective, which is you continue to build better beliefs. But when you put your faith, and this is where I think a lot of young people that are looking for something to believe in, they're being asked by the belief system to believe in their belief system more than their own innate goodness. And that will repulse somebody that wants to connect with this higher God, the whole God, the one that they can determine what is good or bad, or, if you were to look at it that way, they can figure all that stuff out without having a preacher or somebody else guiding them with rules and compelled behavior. So the idea with paradigm B, how this works with paradigm B is, first of all, it's this idea that compulsory is a big aspect of paradigm A. It's a bunch of people trying to make their meaning be meaningful. And so to look at it, it's like, what are you ready for? If you were to say, I want the whole God, that I have the thing inside to help move me, and that someday I will be free. I will be free of the ideas that are told that I'm meant to be, to compel my behavior, that I don't need that compulsory identity or idea to animate me in this reality. So it's just kind of like a nice foundational thing, and it's also kind of, a lot of people that are seeking will go to the atheist participation. And when I say atheist, I'm talking about popular atheism, the ones that seem to be focused just on bashing religion and why religion isn't good and whatever else. This is not meant to destroy those religions. It may seem that way from somebody that wants to adhere to that faith and make that faith be real, but I can tell you where this is coming from isn't a point to make that belief bad and the other belief good. It's simply creating a framework of conceptual ideas that if somebody were in a place where they're like, I go to church, I love how I feel, but then the preacher starts, saying his point of view of which parts of which book you're supposed to focus on, and then you have this sense inside of you going, that doesn't feel right to me. That doesn't, I don't see that as being something that I necessarily need to put my mind on. I don't need to be compelled to act a certain way. And then sometimes just the compulsory units are just um, hypocritical and full of irony, and so it's just good to have a framework that if you are looking, and that's what paradigm B is about, looking for the whole God, that that you can express yourself and be a good person. You will be a good person if you are animating as yourself. Well, how do you animate as yourself when it's not just religion that's compelling your behavior, but when you got put here on this earth, there was already a big story being told about what it is to be a good person, what people think it was good to be a good person, and whatever else. And so it's not even a matter, it's also these narratives um, that are trying to compel us. That's exactly what laws are about, is to compel our behavior into a certain point of view. And there are just some laws that are just ridiculous of compelling us to be what some folks think are good people, when in fact it's just a ridiculous idea of controlling somebody's path in life to get it to meet their point of view and what they've done in order to do that. So there's this idea there that are you chasing the half god, meaning that, do you need to believe in something? And I am not stating that isn't, and I'm not coming to a conclusion that there are people that are supposed to do that and other people that aren't supposed to do that, people that are ready to move on. I don't know. That doesn't make any difference to me, because you're having your experience, so you know whether this resonates with you or not. And that's the interesting thing about making this point, is that we're talking about the idea of compulsory or compelling you to do something. Um, that's not that's not my point of view. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go the other way, saying that you have what's inside of you can navigate everything, And the end result of all of that is that an individual understands that life is the gift of experiencing you all the while. Whatever that expression was meant to be, you're meant to be it within the whole God, rather than being a partial part of it by remaining entangled within the meaning that other people have framed for you. So it's the idea of, can you operate from all perspectives? See, that's what paradigm B is about, is opening up perspective, rather than the other paradigm A, which is all about what's the best belief system, and then how do I get everybody else to believe that belief system. It's about perspective. And that's what this idea is about, is bringing perspective to the idea. So add more to it if you see something that you're connected. Because what I found is that the whole God revealed itself to me. The whole God revealed itself to me. And that was the moment that I didn't have to defend an identity anymore. I could look through any point of view, even with my point of view of me being the joker, me being the fool, me being whatever it is, arrogant, um, I can handle that point of view, and believe that, anybody that wants to have that perspective of life. And then, so what's guiding you at that point? That would be that innate sense. That's where I'm being guided right now, is I'm being guided. And what I believe that I'm being guided in is, I ask the question to myself, like, why was I gifted with with the whole God revealing itself to me? And the why is what I'm working out. That's my creative blossom. Is, 2, 3.5 years ago, I was seeing the world in one way, and now I'm seeing the world in another way. But it's like, what am I doing? Well, it seems like what I'm doing is I'm figuring out why I was gifted this connection with the whole God. And it's been through, but that's the interesting thing. It's not, I don't feel like a guru in that. My understanding of the reason comes from my connection with other human beings. So it's like literally just being able to be in a space where you're just given feedback. Well, and it doesn't matter who gets credit for the feedback. That's the thing, is I don't need to take credit anymore for it. Because that I don't have the sense of being a guru or needing to pull people on a path. This is all about it's all about fun for me, because that's what I really dig to do now. That's what I seem to be interested in doing. What I'm inspired to do is do this, is create. And the next level to that is when you guys fire back at me, whether, and it doesn't matter what feedback that I give, or that I get. Let's just say somebody were to watch this video and they take exception to being this term half god. Fine. Hit me with your the problems with that, and let's talk about it. Let's look through all perspectives, because all perspectives are available. And I'll bet you that once you are animating according to your own guidance system, and then life just gives you new feedback, and you just react to that new feedback, but you're not reacting to that feedback through defensive behavior and these kind of things. Taking that, what we're seeing in our in the world right now is a great example of that. These are people, and who do the news cameras want to put on the news? They want to put the people that are most angry, the most emotional. They want them on the camera, because that's the most exciting thing. And when you are entangled with the whole God, and you're not trying to compel people to believe or to see the world in a certain way, you're going to have an your emotional guidance needs to be regulated. It will be regulated. It'll be calibrated, but it's going to be calibrated to you and to your story. And that, so you're not waking up that your reaction to seeing something on the news is to take the other side or to take that side. It's that you have this space within your emotions and your thoughts to be able to go, okay, I can see that. I can see that, but I can see this perspective, and I can also see this perspective, and I can see all this kind of perspective. That's because you don't have dissonance running through your mind. You have full resonance. You can take in every perspective and then act. And I hope this has been helpful. This was a nice little just a little bit of a trial, which was just to go naked. Well, I'm not literally naked, but meaning that I didn't get the studio all set up or anything else. Just throw the information that's coming through me in the moment, and then we'll work on looking at it later on. Wonderful. I hope you guys are having the most amazing day, and I hope that you can find that you can be in cahoots with what is.